Hey, this is Keith from the Bourbon Shop. Welcome. You see we have an epic battle today of the 10-year. We're going to have 10-year Bullet going against the 10-year of Widow Jane. Now, I happen to be outdoors on site downtown Detroit at a bread and breakfast, a lovely place called the Cochran House. I'm going to give you more information about that if you're ever in the city. You want a nice bed and breakfast while you're in town to see a ball game at Comerica Park. It's a wonderful place to come to. The Cochran House, a beautiful renovated 19th century mansion built in 1870, a private luxury bed and breakfast center in downtown Detroit historical district, walking distance from many of the city's fine attractions like the Fox Theater, Comerica Park, Ford Field, and the home of the Detroit Red Wings Little Caesars Arena. The innkeepers are two sisters that my wife and I simply adore, Rodrika and Francina James. For more information, go to thecochranhouse.com. But right now, let's talk bourbon. These are two different bourbons, two different price points of a 10-year bourbon. So there's a $30 difference between these two. So which one will come up on top? And keep in mind the price difference when we are comparing the taste and the quality of the bourbon. So hey, let's get into it. All right, so first off, let me ask you to please like and subscribe if you like this kind of content, bourbon reviews and FYIs about distilleries and the history behind bourbons and the distilleries, the people who make it. Sometimes I like giving details like that. So please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. So let's get into the bourbons. And first we're going to talk about Bulleit. Bulleit 10-year bourbon, 68% corn, 28% rye, 4% malty barley. ABV is 45.6% or 91.2 proof, owned by the Diageo Company. Bulleit 10 was launched in 2013 and is sourced from different distilleries, perhaps Four Roses or Jim Beam. MSRP, $40. Widow Jane 10-year, mash bill is undisclosed. ABV is 45.5%, 91 proof, owned by Heaven Hill. Heaven Hill is the largest independent family-owned and operated spirit producer. Widow Jane 10-year is a blend of the best barrels from Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, MSRP $70. All right, so there you have it. So again, let's keep in mind that the MSRP for Bulleit is $40, and so there's a $30 difference. This is $70. So let's pour and compare. Now, I don't have a how do they say it? I don't have a bet on this at all. Whoever comes out on top comes out on top. Or you may look at it at the price range and say both are equally good at their price range. You know, that's what good thing about bourbon. All right, so this is the Widow Jane and this is the Bulleit. So let's just give a nose to it. The Widow Jane pretty much come off a little sweet like honey. And you get like a cherry influence. It's a pleasant nose. Not getting a lot of ethanol, but I am outside. It's a good nose. Now the Bulleit nose it comes across as a little darker, maybe a little richer. Yeah, the Bulleit nose is a lot richer than the Widow Jane nose. But the Widow Jane nose has a lot more the honey notes, the cherry notes. Bulleit, more so that dark caramel or brown sugar note.
So far, I like both the noses. I can't give it either way right now. So let's go with the palate. Willow Jane is pretty good. They got that maple taste to it that didn't appear in the nose. Um, Orangey. You know, I'm good at picking out those citrus notes. So you have a lot of that, a lot of fruit. You know, like a pear, a nice orange, maybe a plum. On the back end, the finish is like a nice charred oak and vanilla, and it's a nice long finish. The finish is still lingering there, and that's pretty good. Is it $70 good? Well, one way we can test that is to go with the $40 bourbon. Now it is completely reversed on the nose. The Bulleit seems richer, but on the taste, the Willow Jane is darker and richer. It has more of a good mouthfeel. The Bulleit has a lot of rich, spicy notes, but I think it's 28% rye, so you got a nice high rye spice there. So you get this hot vanilla, this hot cinnamon, this buttery taste, and the brown sugar. I don't know. I can't call it. I'm gonna take a pause for the cause and go through this a little bit more, and I'm gonna let you know which one comes out on top.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I typed my notes in on the tablet, but it's close. It's close. What I typed in here for the Willow Jane, and what's really kicking to me is that orange, that maple, and then that cherry is just bursting through pretty good. It's creamy, it's rich. It doesn't come across that well on the nose compared to the Bulleit, but on the palate it's creamy, and then it's nice and rich mouthfeel, real buttery. Now the Bulleit has a nice buttery mouthfeel as well, and that's really coming through with the spices. If you like rye, man, it's really there. That cinnamon, it's like a hot vanilla. It's creamy, not as creamy as the Willow Jane, but then it comes with this dry fruit, this raisins or dates, or something in that nature. So they both are really good. Here's what I think. On taste, on nose, I'll give it to Bulleit. Okay. On finish, I would give it to Willow Jane. The finish is a lot longer, but both of them have wonderful finishes. But on taste, Willow Jane is going to edge Bulleit out. Now the question is it $70 worth? Well, see, that's hard to say. Everybody have a different opinion. If the bourbon is better, do you want to spend that money to get a better taste, as slight as it is? I would say this: I'm not mad at spending $70 on it, and I would purchase it again. And I would definitely purchase Bulleit again. I like them both. But if you're not for that $70 price point, if you go with Bulleit, I think you'll be just fine. You'll be just fine. And I always say that a person can spend no more than $60, 65 tops for bourbon, and really has some very delicious bourbon. So it depends on your price point. Do you want to spend that extra dollar just for a little bit more flavor or variety? Because that's pretty much why we buy different bottles, for a variety of different types of flavors. Some are slight, some are really over the top, but depends on your palate and your pocketbooks, right? So that's my take. I'm going to give it to Willow Jane, but that's not to slight Bulleit at all. They are both fabulous bourbons, definitely good at their price points. But I want to know your thoughts. What do you think? Have you tried Willow Jane 10 year? You think it's overhyped? You tried the Bullet 10 year. Is it a close second, or do you put it neck and neck? Just give me your thoughts about it. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to converge both of these and see what I can come up with. Might as well do a nice mix. All right, let's see. I think I keep them separate. This is the Bourbon Shop. Like, subscribe. I'll see you next time.